of the stadium acknowledge me.
Say his name and he appears.
I believe. Scoops. Hello, everyone, and I'm your host, Cooper, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumors, and results. And welcome to Kick It to Scoops grand final week. It's been an insane week for me. The cat is out of the bag. I've made it public now that I've been in Perth from last Friday and left Monday morning. Came back here just before the Brownlow started, and it was an insane period for me. I had podcasts to film, I had golfing challenges to film, went to a function I had to film for, edit all those videos and put it together. Go to the AFLW games this week, film the AFLW show, my Scoops AFLW show. I had so much to do. I've been at every day of Footy Festival, Thursday and Wednesday. I've been to the AFLW games Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. So that's why you're hearing this when you are right now. So, grand final week means that the Brownlow was on Monday night. No one can ever question my votes ever again. When you see the rigged AFL Brownlow for 2024, you can never say mine is rigged or biased. Patrick Cripps, congratulations on winning the award, but 45 votes. We're going to get into all that very shortly. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Records they just wanted to be broken. They want everything updated, so they had to do it that way. Now, some big trade talk news. I don't want to say too much because I'm going to start doing full in-depth trade videos again from next week onwards. So I'm not going to say too much. There's more recent things. So we're going to get through that shortly as well. And obviously, we'll preview the grand final and review the prelims that happened on the weekend. Please remember to subscribe if you have not already. I want to aim for 20 likes for this video. There's going to be no excuses. In fact, I want to aim for 45 likes, which is the amount of votes that Paddy Cripps somehow got. But we should be liking this stream, subscribing if you haven't already. Please turn on the bell for all notifications as well, so you never know. So you always know when I'm live or when I have a video that is out. And there's so many views this week. You'll see 3 AFLW matchday vlogs as of right now. Then there's the mental health event that I went to in Perth with a bunch of girls from the Waffle W. It was a great event, and they're great people, as I already knew, because I've had pretty much all of them on the podcast already. Golfing challenge for the Waffle W's best as well. And I went to the West Coast Brisbane AFLW game in Perth at Mineral Resources Park as well. So yeah, that was awesome to go to that game as well. See a bunch of the Eagles girls that I've seen before or haven't seen before, or who I've had on the podcast before but never publicly seen before in person, I should say. It was great to see them as well, and same with the Lions girls as well. All terrific people, so it was worth going to. All right, we'll start off with this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, wish someone happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. If you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees or any state league players and you'd like to see them on the podcast in a goal kicking challenge or an interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Before we get into the topic, so I also want to talk about the Footy Fest. You will be seeing that video more than likely on the Sunday. I can't put like 6 videos on one day. I finally started getting towards finalizing those videos, but then again, I can't post them all at once because that's not how it works. You don't post them all at once. You got to split them apart. So, and spread it out as best you can. Ideally, I would have had those other AFLW vlogs out the night they happened or the morning after. But as I said, I've been so busy, I haven't been able to do these at the schedules that I would have liked. So thankfully, I filmed the AFLW show in Perth on the Sunday night and posted it for the Monday before the Brownlow. So I was able to do that, but unfortunately with everything else, it's been a bit hard as well. Now, that vlog will be probably one of the best videos you will ever see. You will see so many interviews When I say interviews, I don't mean like 20 minutes or anything like that. I mean like, a few minutes here and there. You'll see some of the AFLW's best, some of the AFL's best. So I'm going to tell you right now, and there's a bunch of photos, maybe some cameo appearances from other YouTubers maybe. You'll have to wait and see. But also, you see the likes of Kate Hall, Lily Mithen, Bonnie Toogood, and Manny Pasparkas, and Montana McKinnon, all from the AFLW, and Ash Riddell, all terrific people. You'll see all of those fantastic people on the show, as are fantastic people are Andy Brayshaw, Tom Green. You'll see that on the video. You will see Tom Green on the podcast or in that vlog. What will he say? Will we bring up the Scoops medal? You're going to have to wait and find out to that video what he said, what I said, and everything around it. Andy Brayshaw is a ripper. Tom Green is a ripper. Dylan Moore also appears on the show, as does Jack Viney. So that's off the top of my head. I believe that's all. There's been so many. That's what I mean. I'm losing count right now. And there's a bunch of photos that you'll see in that vlog. Dacos, Jack Higgins, Josh Battle, D. Berry from the Bulldogs, AFLW side. I'm trying to think who else. Obviously, the ones I've interviewed, they'll be in there with photos as well. So it's going to be a great video, so look forward to that. All right. I want to start off with some news topics. More of the retirements. We'll get to the trade type stuff and interest in the trade talk segment. But Charlie Dixon, Trent McKenzie, and Lockie Hunter have all retired in the last few days. So congratulations to all three on their terrific careers. Charlie Dixon played over 200 games, played for the Suns, and played for the Power. A key forward who put his body on the line, but the time is now for him to retire. The Cannon, Trent McKenzie, played over 100 games, played at the Suns as well, then went to the Power. He has a lethal left boot, a booming left foot kick. The Cannon, Trent McKenzie, called the Cannon for a reason because he's got a cannon shot on him. I like the Cannon, Trent McKenzie. I wish he was at St Kilda because that guy could kick long, and that's something St Kilda have missed since Brennan Goddard and Shane Savage. And Lockie Hunter, 199 AFL games. Most of those are at Melbourne. At the Bulldogs, around 173 of them were at the Bulldogs. About 26 of them were at Melbourne or thereabouts. One short of 200. A little bit of shame for him not to have gotten it in the last round of the season. He could have played, I believe. I believe he was available. Just didn't get picked, which is disappointing for him. But well done to all three on their careers. And one thing I want to mention, because I'll probably forget this, don't listen to Trent Cotchin telling you all that Dustin Martin's not going to Gold Coast. He's more and more confident. Yeah, they may be mates, but how many times have we heard this before? Dan Houston said he wasn't leaving. He is. So don't believe it. Maybe he just wants people to think that, and Dustin wants to talk off him, and Trent's delivering the message by saying that, so they think that that's going to stop. It's not going to stop. You met with Gold Coast, Dustin, so we know what's happened. It wasn't Gold Coast chasing you. You went to them, so we know what that means, mate. Enjoy the Gold Coast, because that's what's happening. Now, please welcome the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Grand Final Edition means a massive Scoops Goes Bang. The 2024 AFL Brownlow Medal was the worst Brownlow in history, in terms of the most rigged one in history. People will have a go at my votes, okay, saying, Scoops, how could you have this guy on 36 votes? How does he win on 36 votes, 37 votes, 34, 32? Well, if you want to criticise that, you have to criticise the AFL for giving Paddy Cripps 45 and Nick Dacos 38. So that's what I'll say to that. It's just like, seriously. Are we surprised? Are we surprised at the AFL rigging the Brownlow. They rigged games. They rigged the All-Australian team. It's just the rules are a joke for some things. It's like unbelievable. Paddy Cripps, 45 votes. Did he have a good year? Yes, he did. Did he deserve to win? That's up for debate. Now, I'm not saying he didn't deserve to win. I personally think he shouldn't have won. I think it should have been Tom Green or Adam Treloar or someone like that, or Dacos even, but not Paddy Cripps. But that's a whole other story for another day. He got 2 votes in a game. He had 19 disposals at 47% efficiency, disposal efficiency, and his kicking efficiency was like 13 to 17%, 19% at best. Like, I'm sorry, it's rigged. Did the AFL go back and they want to change their record books by going, oh, we need to give him 2 more votes. Hang on, we need to go back and put it in this game. And if that's the case, why didn't you do it in a game that was less obvious? Because now you made it blatantly obvious how rigged that was. There's so many other examples I can give you as to why it was rigged. Now you're going to say, oh, these are St Kilda ones. But yeah, that's because I remember them. Cooper Sharman had a game where he had 3 goals, 21 disposals, 10 marks, and probably single-handedly won us the game with a few others. 0 votes. I'm sorry. A key forward getting 21 disposals, 10 marks, and 3 goals. That's rigged. That he got no votes. Biased. Ryan Marshall had plenty of games over 20 disposals. In this one in particular, he had 26 disposals with 30 hit-outs. We won and no votes. And his opponent had 9 disposals and like 8 hit-outs. Oh, sorry, not 8 hit-outs, 18 hit-outs. Like, rigged. Callum Wilkie had multiple games over 20 disposals and 10-plus marks, intercept disposals, 1%ers, 0 votes. I believe Cal got a 3-vote game once against Richmond, I think it was, in gather round, and that was it. Dacos got 15 disposals in a game. He got subbed off and got 3 votes. Yep. He got 3 votes for 15 disposals getting subbed off. Yep. And I believe they lost just to make it sound even worse. And if they did and lose, well, that's irrelevant because he shouldn't have got it. And the one that's pissed me off out of all of them, St Kilda v West Coast in Melbourne, the second time we played West Coast. Tim Membry kicked 5 goals, 24 disposals, 14 marks, 1 vote. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, are you bloody kidding me? That is the single-handedly the worst decision of the umpires of 2024. How the hell does Tim Membry not get 3 votes? I was talking to a bunch of people and they're going, yeah, I don't know how he didn't get 3 either. What does he need to do? We understand that the Brownlow is a midfielders award. We know the AFL are biased. It's rigged. But now they're making it blatantly obvious they don't care about other positions. It's a midfielders award. I've said it for ages. A lot of people have said it for ages. It's rigged. So this award is tainted from now on until they fix it. So any other winner that gets it, it's a tainted Brownlow because it's just going to be another midfielder that gets it. By the way, while we're on the topic of the Brownlow still, Rowan Marshall got more votes than any other ruckman. Tristan Cherry got 1. Marshall, I believe, got 16, and Gordon had like 13 or 12. Darcy Cameron also got 0 votes. And Brodie Grundy got like 3 to 5 votes max. Yeah. Rowan Marshall got 3 more votes than Max Gawn and about 10 more than every other ruckman that was in the All-Australian squad. AFL showing biased again. Not putting Rowan Marshall in the All-Australian team. Kane Corns, Nathan Buckley, everyone that told everyone that Rowan Marshall wasn't good enough, you should be embarrassed at yourself and resign from your position effective immediately. I said that at the time, and I'm going to say it again. Rowan Marshall gets 16 Brownlow votes. Tristan Cherry gets 1. Darcy Cameron gets none. The big O, Oscar McInerney, got like 5. Brodie Grundy got under 10. Max Gawn got 3 less than Marshall. So try telling me again how Rowan Marshall wasn't the best rucker this year, because he was. Rowan Marshall was clearly the best ruckman of 2024. Rigged, biased calls again from the AFL and the All Australian Selection Committee. To the competition, the people involved in the votes, the umpires, the people involved in the All Australian team, the rigged All Australian team, lift your game, pathetic. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed that edition of the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. I don't know why the graphic wasn't up, but it was. Oh boy, that really, really annoys me, ladies and gentlemen. It just really, really does. All right. Now, I want to talk about trades, but I guess we've got to talk about the prelims. And Port fans, look away right now. Because Port Adelaide in this game were a disgrace. You know, people blame Ken Hinkley. And sometimes it is partially his fault. But maybe, just maybe, stop blaming the coach for the players being shit. Okay, just think about it. Now, people praise Josh Carr, okay, when they win. It's always Josh Carr. When they lose, it's Ken's fault. Or when they win, it's the players, but not Ken's problem. Like, seriously, stop blaming Ken Hinkley and put some onus on the players. Like, they didn't turn up. Sydney were very good. And, well, Sydney are through to a grand final and Port Adelaide are not. Because the players were bad. Charlie Dixon played his last game. Rosie and Butters and Horne-Francis didn't really fire a shot. I know Butters had some cracked ribs or something like that, which is brave on his part to play. But you went to go play. You have to do well, and he didn't. Jordan Sweet did absolutely nothing. Brandon Zerk-Thatcher and Asava Radikalia also did nothing. That's why they shouldn't be in the team. I tell you every week, but no one listens. Maybe that's one thing Ken does wrong. Playing Asava Radikalia, Brandon Zerk-Thatcher, and Jordan Sweet. Maybe that's why they lost the prelim. Because the other team had Grundy, Rampy, and McCartan, and Logan McDonald, and not those other names I just mentioned. I know which trio I'm taking. I'm taking the Swans trio out of those 4 or 3 Port Adelaide hacks. Sample hacks. Sample hacks. Sample hacks. Sample hacks. Did I tell you there's sample hacks? Sample hacks. Anyway, I know a poor fan that won't like that. But, oh well, bad luck. Now, so let's get the scores up, shall we? Callum Mills will not be playing in the grand final. It's on 2:30 this week, Melbourne time or Victorian time. 95-59, Swans by 36. You know, Heaney was good. Errol Goulden, Jake Lloyd, Chad Warner, Joel Amati kicked 3. Ryan Burton, Travis Boak were Port Adelaide's best 2 players. The other game, which was the game of the 2, Geelong and Brisbane. Oh, Geelong fans, you are out of here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Sayonara. Na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Oh, Scotty. Whose fault is it this week? Was it the umpires? Was it the surface? Was it because you had to travel 45 minutes up the road? The trip that I do every week? And plus more time as well? What is it, Scotty? Was it the weather? Was the game too late? Was it the game too early? Were the crowd too loud? Were the crowd not making enough noise? Like, what's the reason, Scotty? Why'd you lose? Is it because Tom Hawkins wasn't playing? You didn't pick him, and now he's retired. And a great career he has, Tom Hawkins. Zach Tui wasn't picked either. Shannon Neal. Gee, what a great selection that was, Scotty. He did absolutely nothing. I know he kicked a goal late in the game, but he did absolutely nothing. Maybe you should have played Tom Hawkins, like I said. Maybe you might have won. You know, Max Holmes got injured. Should you have subbed him off early and let Mitch Duncan come on earlier? Whose fault's that? I bet you're going to blame someone else. you know, that midfield is very bad. I mean, people can say, oh, but Bruin and Bowes and Holmes. Holmes is a winger, so he's not in the midfield. Dangerfield is about to retire soon. Mitch Duncan's not playing midfield anymore. So, and Guthrie was injured. Cam Guthrie, not Zach Guthrie. So, what are they going to do? The off season's a dwell. They've done their wacky Wednesday, as they call it, or Mad Monday, one of the two, dressing up as West Coast players for Harley Reid and journos, everything like that. Hilarious, right? That's what they're doing instead of reviewing the game. But yeah, credit to Brisbane. They've done a great job. Oscar McInerney won't play this week. Darcy Ford is the inclusion for the grand final. And it's great to see Darcy Ford, an ex-Cat, get a game in the grand final. I mean, he's too good for the twos, Darcy Ford. We've got to see how he goes, though. But he's against a former All-Australian ruckman in Brodie Grundy. Tough task for Darcy, but if he can hold his own, and they get the win, that's a win in their eyes because they won the premiership. And if he can quell the influence of Brodie Grundy, which some players have done this year. So let's see if he can do that again. But yeah, this game, in terms of the scores, it was 10 points, 95 to 85 in favour of Brisbane, obviously, at the MCG. Brisbane go to this week, place the Swans Saturday, 2:30. So let's go right to that. So Sydney v Brisbane, 2020-24 AFL Grand Final. Let me repeat that again. Absolutely butchered that. The 2024 AFL Grand Final, Sydney v Brisbane at the MCG Saturday at 2:30 Victorian time. That will be 12:30 Perth time. That'll be 2 p.m. Adelaide time, 2:30 p.m. Sydney time, and etc. In Queensland, I believe it's 2:30. I believe they're the same still right now. Daylight savings, I know, is coming soon in Victoria, but I think as of right now and for that day, it will be the same. But yeah, who am I going to pick? Darcy Fort is in for Oscar McInerney, whose shoulder popped out twice. That's why he's not playing. Swans have not named Callum Mills. He passed the fitness test, but they don't want to run the risk of a repeat of one of the previous grand finals where they played an injured player and it came back to backfire on them, which I understand. No Taylor Adams. Again, another grand final he doesn't get to play in. So Sydney will probably win going off that. But I'm going the Brisbane Lions by 10 points. I'm going Joe Danaher for the Norm Smith medal. I'm going Zach Bailey for the first goal kicker. Joe Danaher doesn't get enough appreciation, I feel, still. Same with Zach Bailey, but definitely Joe Danaher. They only really talk about him when he's going bad for his goal kicking. Otherwise, they don't talk about him. And they've hardly talked about him this year, which shows he's done pretty well. And he was in my All-Australian team for a reason, Joey Danaher. If there's one area Sydney can try and capitalise on, it is the ruck with Brodie Grundy. But Brodie Grundy's not in the greatest of form, but we know Brodie just needs one good game to explode. If Darcy Fort can hold his own, I think they can win. If he doesn't, I still think they can win, but it doesn't help. But we'll have to wait and see. So the grand final, Brisbane by 10 points for me. Norm Smith medal, Joe Danaher, and first goal kicker, Zach Bailey. Alrighty. So again, I should have changed the banner, but that was previewing the grand final and reviewing the prelims. Alrighty. Let's do some trade talk, shall we? All right, wrap it up with some trade talk, I feel. Alrighty. So Craig McRae says Jake Stringer will not be going to Collingwood. Plain and simple, not going there. I still think Jake Stringer wants to leave. If you can find a club that wants to give him 2 years, he is out of the Bombers. Tom Morris said earlier in the week that GWS had been confident that this time last week, James Peatling would sign a fresh 3-year deal. He still may do so, but he spent Sunday and Monday in Melbourne meeting with Victorian clubs, which would include St Kilda and potentially North Melbourne and Bulldogs, who had been linked to him. GWS and West Coast have been linked to him. Well, he's at GWS, you fool. He's been linked to West Coast as well. But nothing's been said if they've met with James Peatling. Caleb Daniel, according to Cal Toomey, says North Melbourne have interest in Caleb Daniel. For him, I would just take it so he can get a game. He should get a game there. What role would he play? I would assume halfback. So Sheasel can play more midfield permanently and forward. And then, Daniel can play off the halfback and maybe on the wing as well. Maybe they might try and roll him in as an inside mid. They'd have to wait and see what they do there. Now, the next name I'm going to go through is just 5 other names for tonight. Jack Lukosius has nominated the Port Adelaide Footy Club. I know that's a great coup for the Power when it looked like he was going to choose the Crows. He's chosen the Power, Jack Lukosius. I think this is going to be a great pickup for the Power. What do they cough up for him? I think a pick around 15 to 20 is around the mark, more 15 than 20. But Port have to find a way to get a pick in that range because they don't have one. So they're going to find out what they get for Dan Houston. So I'd love to see there. Speaking of Dan Houston, he has been requested his trade, he has, to a Victorian club. Who criticised me? All these Port fans kept criticising me, telling me, Scoops, what are you saying? He said he's staying, so that's it. Nah, you're wrong. And Scoops is right yet again. Acknowledge me and acknowledge that you're wrong. And I'm right. I'm the tribal chief. I'm the head of the table for a damn reason. No one disrespects the tribal chief, Roman Reigns and Scoops. And no one should ever doubt Scoops and Roman Reigns, the tribal chiefs of everything. This is my channel. I love Roman Reigns. He's a ripper. So is Liv Morgan. And as Liv Morgan would say, if you don't like it, you can go cry about it. So Dan Houston will meet with North Melbourne, it seems. The Western Border's been leaning Collingwood and Carlton. St Kilda are apparently out of the race. They went to go for Zach Merrow. That's not happening, unfortunately, it looks like. But never say never with that. Dan Houston, when does he turn up? Carlton and Collingwood seem the two favourites right now. But Collingwood are trying to get Harry Perryman, who they apparently have now met with and are the favourite. Apparently Hawthorn are out, and Port Adelaide, according to the report, Chris Davies was saying that they may not be able to get him in the salary cap or something like that, or find a way to fit him in. So, and he doesn't think that they're favouring him. So Collingwood's kind of come out of nowhere a little bit. Harry Perryman can play half back, can play inside mid, he can play half forward, and can play on the wing. So very versatile players, Harry Perryman. I like him, number 36 of the Giants. Played over 150 games or thereabouts, Harry Perryman. Good player, really solid contributor, and he can play as a leadership type role as well. Where he played Collingwood, if he went there, that'd be interesting. He's a free agent, so it doesn't cost nothing from a trade point of view, just from a financial point of view. All right, so we're going to leave it with 2 more for now. Isaac Cumming has nominated the Crows. See, he looked like joining the Power. So he and Lukosius are kind of went the other way around, which is very interesting to say the least. So, yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? And the last one is Ivan Soldo. Isaac Cumming, sorry, can play half back as a medium-sized defender. Apparently can push up to the wing a little bit, but I see him more as a medium-sized defender. A bit like a Brennan Goddard, I suppose, when Brennan Goddard was playing half back, like that bigger size, can run and kick it a little bit. But Isaac Cumming's a bit more of a lockdown type defender, more than your running and attacking player like Brennan Goddard would have been when he was playing in that role at the Saints and Essendon. Ivan Soldo wants to join St Kilda. Will get to St Kilda. He has a year left to go in his contract. We get that. But he is out of the Power. His partner's moved to Melbourne a few months ago, apparently. He will go to St Kilda. Now, I'm thinking this is a stupid move for him because Rowan Marshall's clearly going to be ahead of him. For us, I think it's not bad because he's going to be a Rowan Marshall number 2. He's going to be Rowan Marshall's number 2, which is what Tommy Campbell was. I still would have kept Tom Campbell, but here we are. Who, by the way, has interest from Melbourne, does Tom Campbell. Melbourne fans that really bag Tom Campbell are stupid for saying that. Tom Campbell is a ripper guy and a great player. Very underrated ruckman is Tom Campbell. But yeah, here we are. All right, so Ivan Soldo will be St Kilda's number 2 ruck. There's talk that Ivan Soldo could be the first ruck and Marshall can play forward. If Ivan Soldo can hold his own, I am open to that, because if that means the forward line is King, Marshall, Membry if he stays, who's got interest in Melbourne and North Melbourne, and apparently Essendon, according to the midweek tackle, which is the Fox show that John Ralph and co are on. So if it's Sharman, Membry, King, and Marshall, I love that. If Membry unfortunately leaves, then it's King, Sharman, and Marshall, and or Caminiti if they don't play Soldo. So I don't mind it if that's how it's going to pan out. But if he's just going to be the backup and not play like Tom Campbell was, I don't see why Ivan Soldo picks St Kilda. Wouldn't it be better to go to Collingwood where Darcy Cameron can then play forward, but then you fall in the same position? But Darcy Cameron's more likely to play forward than Marshall because Cameron used to play there permanently before he was the ruck when Collingwood had no ruck and still don't have a ruck, really, because he's not really a ruckman. He plays the ruck, but that's about it. Plays the role, but he's not the size for a ruckman. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Ivan Soldo works at the Saints. He's been playing Sandful the back half of the season when he hasn't been injured. Jordan Sweet was preferred over him. So from a trade point of view, it'll be absolutely nothing. A pick in the 50s at best, poor people. Take it or leave it. Or he just walks to the preseason draft. Now, you're probably going to say, Scoops, he's contracted, mate. Well, he can make the threat saying he'll leave the club completely. So, yeah. I have to see what happens there. My final thoughts are simply this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend with somebody's birthday? Anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees or any state league players, and you'd like to see them on the podcast in a Gold King Challenge or an interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Thank you for watching. The most important thing of all to remember is go the Saints. And, of course, acknowledge me, the one, and all aboard the Phillip O train, then, now, forever, together. Now, Kick It to Scoops will be on next week to wrap up the grand final. Probably talks about some trades and maybe something else around that. That'll be the last week of Kick It to Scoops, but, of course, there'll be plenty more videos and this Scoops AFLW show as well. Thank you all, and go you mighty Sainers.